These are some of the best grip socks that you can get, period. Here we've got both variations of the Tokyo football grip socks, the Air and the Classic. Today we're going to be focusing on the newer of the Tokyo football grip socks, the Air grip socks. We're going to start with what I consider to be the most important category, the fit, and the fit on these does not disappoint. These are anatomically shaped, so you're going to get right foot and left foot, and you might be like, oh, exciting. It really is. You don't get anatomical shaping on your socks at this price point. The compression is also excellent, and I mean that both in the neck and also around your foot. Once these are on, they don't slip and slide around, they don't become loose, they don't move. A lot of grip socks, even if they fit okay to start with, as you wear them, they loosen up and they just become like baggy, awful. There is absolutely none of that, and more importantly, when you put these on, the heel does not ride up. You don't end up with excess material up at the top of your foot, which drives me insane when that happens. None of that here. I'll tell you now that I think the Air is a better sock than the Classic for a couple of reasons. They're both great, but I prefer the Air. And the first reason is this: in the collar, the Air is just slightly longer. The neck of the sock, it runs up longer in the Air. And this was a criticism I had of the Classic, was that the neck didn't come up far enough. And you can see here, there's a fairly substantial difference, and it makes the Air much nicer to wear, in my opinion. Now, the material has been changed, and it is more elastic in this collar area in the Air version compared to the Classic, but it's also more compression, and it just fits that little bit nicer, if you ask me. One of my only criticisms of both of these socks is the fact that they are one size fits all. There's no individual sizing you can choose, but they're probably the best one size fits all sock that I've ever come across. The fit is still fantastic because they're made so well. Now, I'm a US 8, and I would say that if maybe you're looking at a US 11 or above, you might find that these are going to be a little bit too tight for you lengthwise. If you have a wide foot, no problems at all, but definitely something to be aware of on the whole. But they're so good and a really good price, so it might be worth the risk. Obviously, these are grip socks, so the grips are important. They both hold exactly the same grip tech. So you get all of these grip docks that run all the way across the bottom and including up the heel, which is a really, really nice feature, and one that more grip socks should definitely incorporate. The grip dots seem to be exactly the same on both the Classic and the Air. I can't really tell a difference. They might be slightly lower profile on the Air, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. Both of them, again, if you flip them inside out, they're going to have internal grips, which again is not something you get on that many grip socks, and it matches the pattern on the outside perfectly, really grips to your foot, and there is no movement here. These are some of the best for how their grips work, both interacting with your foot and interacting with the boot. They remind me quite a lot, I've got them here somewhere, of the Falca grip dots. They're a little bit higher profile than the Falca grip dots, but they're very similar. They work in a very similar way, and they might even be a little more grippy. Now, if you've never worn grip socks with grips on the inside before, you definitely want to be aware it's a bit of a different sensation. You're going to notice them, especially when you put the socks on, and it might be a bit of a weird feeling. But as with all grip socks, or good grip socks at least, you will forget that they're there with the TF grip socks, and they just do a great job of holding your foot in place. There's no blistering, there's no problems with having that rubber keeping your foot in place. Rubber is probably the wrong thing. It's probably silicone, or rubber's definitely the wrong word. If you try and decide between the two, the materials might be what make up your mind. The Classic are definitely a little bit thicker, particularly through this kind of toe box area and the general over the top of your foot. Everything is a little bit thicker, and they don't breathe quite as well as the Air does, as you might expect. The Air loses this kind of compression chevron band across the top there, which I'm hoping you can see, which is a feature that I really liked. However, it makes the whole top of the foot a lot more breathable. The Air is overall a little bit thinner, and I do think that that is a positive, particularly for me who prefers a thinner grip sock. Durability, washability, these have both washed really well. The worst that I've got is some bobbling around in the heel area, but that's to be expected. It's kind of a high contact area, and especially with the grip dots in that area holding everything in place, there is a little bit of friction. So that's not really from washing, that's more from wear, but the way that the sock is built is really sturdy, and I've got absolutely no holes, no problems. You can see the wear in the toe here, and again, there's nothing there. It really holds up very well. Okay, if you think I haven't got excited enough about a pair of socks that I supposedly love, it's because I haven't talked about the price yet. I've given you a lot of features, a lot of things that these socks do really, really well, but let's dive into the pricing and what they're actually going to cost. Starting with the Air socks, which are slightly more expensive. Air socks are $16.90 Singapore dollars, which converts to €11.53 on the day that I'm recording this. So like I say, just above that $10 mark. The Classic are $14.90 Singapore dollars, and that is going to convert to €10.17. So again, just right on that €10 mark. That makes them cheaper than something like, say, a Pure Grip Socks Pro, which is another sock that offers an anatomical shaping. These are significantly better in my opinion, and they are cheaper. If you go for socks that are around that price point, you're looking at something like maybe a Gain the Edge sock, which are nowhere near the quality of these. Socks around this price point just are not this quality. Simple as that. Now, as always, we do have to consider the shipping, and that is going to bump the pricing. The shipping is $12.90 Singapore dollars, and when you convert that, that's about €8.80. So that is a fair old jump on what you are paying for the socks. So it does take a little bit of the shine off, particularly if you're buying one pair at a time. However, they do have some really good multi-sock bundles, and the shipping basically doesn't go up or goes up a very small amount when you start to add multiple pairs of socks. So shipping is not a deal breaker, but you should definitely look into multi-packs to maximize what you are getting. And finally, let's rank these. Now, we did a ranking video, the ultimate tier ranking video 2 years ago, and it needs updating. So I've cleared the ranking table. The ranking table is empty because we're going to do a brand new ranking video. So please do get subscribed to pick that up, because it's going to be really helpful if you're looking to pick up grip socks. So firstly, we're going to re-rank the Tokyo Football Classics, and we're going to put them into the foot spa category. They are still an excellent sock. They go right at the top end of the foot spa category, not quite pushing into the foot fetish category. You've really got to be elite to get up that one category. So these are going to stay in foot spa. Next up, the Air, and the Air, quite simply, are fantastic. They fix any issues that I had with the Classics. They are barely any more expensive, and they deserve to compete at the very top level, in my opinion. And these are foot fetish socks. With our new ranking system, they are going to be the very first socks up in foot fetish. These are so good, and I can't recommend them highly enough.